Dear beautiful friends, do you know how to wash dishes instead of your dishwasher? Have you ever been told that you need a sponge, you need a washing liquid, and of course you need a pot or something else which is big, and you need to make your own soap. So this way you can save some of your dishwasher. You can put just a little bit of it in there, and then you can pour a lot of water on top of it. I'll show you now in a second. And I know this sounds very basic, but can you imagine that so many young people nowadays don't know how to wash dishes, don't know how to change the sheets of their beds, and after that we want from them to have great achievements in life, but they lack very basic skills. They even don't know how to fry an egg, poor them. That's why I'm going to do all of this series, because yes, it seems funny and it seems strange, and probably for some of you it seems very basic or it seems unnecessary for people to know this. But I believe that everything else comes with the very simple things in life. And when you start knowing how to do them, you have the confidence that you can do with the bigger things. And I believe money are one of the bigger things. And I believe that knowing how to do your basic things in life, like washing your dishes, changing the sheets on your bed, frying eggs. After that, when you know that you can start and finish such a simple tasks, I'm sure that you can have the confidence as well starting to handling your money in the proper way. Because I believe knowing basic things is very important. And basic things in life create some kind of mental security. The same with money. When you start handling them in the proper way, when you start saving, when you start really taking care of them in a proper good way, then everything else falls in the right places, and you can really take big decisions and you can choose them in the right way. Yeah. So for me, knowing basic things, like washing your dishes, knowing basic things, how to save and why to have separate funds for your savings, how to do an emergency fund, and how to do basic saving for the big things in your life or for the small things in your life, or how to separate and to have your own goals. All of them little things I think are very important, and that's why I have them in my book, Budgeting for Freelancers. But I'm probably going to change the title to be Budgeting for Everyone, because I'm definitely going to have so many tips for everyone through the videos and in the book as well. So yeah, I hope that all of this will be very helpful for all of you. So what I do when I have plenty of dishes to wash, first I make the soap with the water, add the washing up liquid, and I don't put too much washing up liquid. It's not necessary, because nowadays the washing up liquid is done in a very good way. The quality is very high, so you don't need too much of it, but you need it to be in water in order to really dissolve and to be easier for you to wash and not to leave any washing up liquid. Because can you imagine, you're just putting the washing up liquid on your sponge, and you just take your dishes or your cutleries or your glasses, and you put that soap, washing up liquid onto them. So they're going to have too much quantity, and it's going to be real waste. The same way with money, by the way. If you don't know how to structure them, they're going to be wasted. If you don't know that you need to buy your own house, and if you don't have the proper goals in your life in regards to your money, in regards to your life is going to be wasted. Your money is going to be wasted. Because if you don't have the goal of having your own house, anyhow you're going to pay for a house. But when you're young, and not only young, but at any age, you can really start working towards your goals, and you can find ways And there are so many new ways actually to do it. So it's really a matter of knowing and searching, but having the goal and having the basic knowledge how to do it. So that's why basically I'm putting the washing up liquid in the water and I'm washing my dishes with the soap. And I'm not going straight to the dishes so that I won't waste it and I don't have to rinse it too much afterwards. Just because I'm not going to be afraid that there is so too much washing up liquid. Ah, by the way, saying all of this, in some countries, people wash their dishes without rinsing them. Funny, isn't it? The washing up liquid is actually poisonous. I'm sorry for saying it like that, but it is the truth. It's not something you should eat. It's not something you should drink. It's not something you should have in your dishes. It's not something you should have in your glasses or your cutleries. Just be really aware of it. Really has to be washed away. That means that after you soap your dishes, you have to really, really well rinse them. But in order to do that, first you have to organize your work. So in easy way to really rinse them, well, I know people who really soap one dish or one spoon and straight away they rinse them. But this way they use a lot of water, they waste a lot of time, and as well they waste a lot of the dish washing liquid. They waste a lot of the water in the tap, the hot water. Let's say that if you like to wash with hot water as I do. So this is not practical, I think, and in many other things as well in life. If you have structure, that structure really protects you and saves you. So let's say if you have a structure in regards to your budgeting, that structure actually creates the safety net of emergency funds. The structure creates the safety net of saving money for your big goals. The structure helps you as well to have one particular goal. For me, that is having your own house. I believe that this is one of the most important things which many people nowadays really ignore. But yeah, so this is my thing, having a structure. So for example, for the washing the dishes, what I do is I'm going to clean first the cutleries one after another with clean water and with my sponge, with my washing up liquid inside my sponge. I'm going to wash them and clean them first from the food and rinse them under clean water. Clean them with the sponge with the washing up liquid, and after that I put them in the pot. So this way all the little things stays in one place. The same with your budgeting. When you have the structure, when you know what you're doing, when you know what kind of little things should go in there, then you really just simply follow the plan and everything goes in the right place. The same with the cutleries. If you have them in one place, you can actually really easily work with them without worrying that one of them can fall on the side, can disturb you, can waste your time. You have to worry, are they going in the right place? Are they think, for example, I can really take away my pot and I can put them here on the rack. But it will be totally different experience if I put them in the rack instead of putting them in the big pot. Just because when they're on the rack, they're so much loose and they can do whatever they like themselves without me controlling them really, because they can move around freely and easily. The same with the little things in life. I don't know, have you ever heard this old saying, but the little stones can really break your car. Well, in the old days, the cars were, of course, wooden and horse-led. But the funniest thing is that if you don't have a protection from the little things, they can really, really easily disturb you. The same with the washing dishes. And I know that for some of you probably sounds very strange the fact that I can make the connection between budgeting and washing dishes. But the things in there are very, very much the same. Once you have a structure everywhere, well, I know some people are so well organized that they even structure their dishes before they put them in the sink for washing, which is really wonderful, and it's really the proper way, and I really admire them for doing that. So the goal will be that we'll start as well putting our cutleries before they go to the sink for washing in one place to be all together. But the same when you wash them, you want to put them in one place. After that, of course, when you rinse them, I'm always putting all of my cutleries in here, in this little box. It's much easier, it's much more structured, it's much safer for them, and it's easier for my life. And all of these little beautiful things make a huge change, actually. Now, I'm going to try and to see how I will be able to film all of this in the way that I'm doing the work, so that I can really show you what I do. So, hopefully that will be good enough for me to show you. So what I do is I really rinse all the cutleries under the water. I really take the sponge and I put a little bit of water on the sponge as well. And then I really clean them with the sponge and wash them with the soapy water. And after that I take them and I really put them in the big pot. So this way I don't worry that they will run away and they will create a lot of worry for me. So this is how you do your dishes, one after another. And of course it's always better if you go about little structure. So let's say you wash first your cutleries, for example, and you put them all in the big pot and you don't worry anymore about them because you know that they have their proper place and that they are there and they won't disturb your other work. So when you do that, you really know that you have clean dishes. You don't worry about where they go. And you really can continue doing the work. What I do next is I'm taking all the big plates and I'm putting the plates on the side. I'm starting washing them one after another and I'm doing a little pile of them. So I'm putting them on the side. I make a little bit of room for myself here next to the rack. I move the rack a little bit on the side because I have plenty of room here in the metal part. So what I do is I really organize my work. And with everything else, you really need organization. And I know it sounds very basic, but it is good to find your organization the way you like it. And learn from other people, always. I believe this is very helpful. For example, I'm so thankful for my grandparents and for my parents mainly, because my parents were the ones who really tried to taught me many things in life. And they are really pushing it to do that, because they know how important it is to know how to wash your dishes, to know how to cook, to know how to clean. Just because these are very basic things and everybody should really know and do them. We should not wait for other people to do it for us, and we should not wait until we are really kind of older to do them. We should start as early as possible. This is really the best option, always. So what I do then is I really clean everything. I always rinse everything beforehand. I really like to do that because this way you really have kind of much cleaner plates and dishes to work with, and I really like cleaning them as much as possible. Of course you can take a little brush, or for example I do have some brushes in here, so you can take a little brush and you can work with it if that's necessary, if you think that something stained on the glass or on the little jar. So this way basically you continue washing the dishes and you continue structuring everything what you do one after another. By the way, it is pretty important for everyone to wash their dishes after they eat. And I know many young people are not happy with the idea that they really have to wash themselves after they eat. But it is a very good habit, and it is a very important habit, I think. From a hygiene point of view, I think it's very important to be like that. Now, because my sink is not structured well, from the time when we put the dishes in, what happened was that some food stuck in the waterway, and that's why my sink is full. What I do in this situation is I wash as much as I can. After that, I take a spoon and I turn it around, and I use the holder of the spoon, and I open the waterway in order for the water to really go into the sink, into the tubes, like this. Can you see me? But I even lost my spoon because my hands are slippery. So, my dear beautiful friends, the same thing, by the way, with money. Once you start really creating a good structure around them, you can have great results, but you need to have goals. From very early age, I believe everyone should really have a goal of having their own house. And I know it might sound strange. I know some people say, oh, why people need to do that? Is it really so necessary? Is it what's so bad with renting? There's nothing bad with renting, no doubt about it. Absolutely. And thank God that landlords exist. But I think if you really want to prosper in life, in a good way, if you really want to achieve something with your life and feel that you really do something good, if you really want to feel satisfied with your life, I believe one of the most important things is to have your own house. And no matter are you a boy or a girl, and I'm talking now to young people who live with their mommies and daddies, use that time, use it properly. Don't waste it. Go work as many hours as you can. Go study as much as you can. Go do whatever you like in order to earn the money. But go and buy your own houses. No matter are you married or not married, no matter are you still just young person who just starts going around in life. What I do now is I rinse some of my dishes because they're on my way. It's probably not the best way to do it, but that's the way I'm doing it at the moment. Just because this way I'm going to open a little bit of space for myself. And the same with life. You can choose and do things at the way they are, and kind of structure your work around that and really change what you do. But be aware that if you don't have your goal, for example, if I don't have the goal that I definitely need to wash the dishes now after they're dirtied, then this is going to stay there forever. And I know some people who don't wash their dishes for a few days or even a week, which is absolutely ridiculous. And I know people who like to really leave their dishes on the side, here on the top, and they can leave them there for a few days and they don't worry about it, which is absolutely ridiculous because the food stains, they really are not hygienic. They even change the air. And I know it might sound very strange to some people, but food waste actually being exposed into the air, which we drink, breathe, drink. The water is what we drink. But the food is really the thing that changes the air. The food starts to rotten even when it is on the plates. And I know that it is very invisible. It's really not possible to see with your eyes. But I can tell you that's the truth. You can really see how the food is changing, how the smell in the house is changing. And all of this smell is actually air which we breathe with our lungs. And that creates actually diseases. And I know one very wise man who says that everyone should really aim for washing their dishes every time they eat. They should never be leaving any dishes on the side, staying and waiting for them. Because that really creates a lot of sickness and a lot of bad energy as well in the house. So, wash your dishes and do your budgeting and learn how to do it. And even if you have very little money, if you have just your pocket money from your parents, if you're just a young teenager who still doesn't work, no matter that, start trying to do it. Save some money and then try to separate them by the different percentages. Find somewhere away. Even if you don't have the budget book, if you don't have your own money, if you never read a budget book, by the way, I always advise you, go and find, there's so many nice books. Not only my book, but there's so many nice books who really explain things very well. So doing that will really help you. You will learn a lot, and then you have to try to practice, because I believe that knowledge without real practice, or knowing something without really using it, is not a good thing. So this is me for now. I'm showing you how to wash your dishes, and I'm telling you as well how important it is, and how important it is for your health, how important it is for everybody around you. And as well, I'm telling you that washing your dishes is very similar to doing your budget. Very, very similar, that you need to have structure, and you have to aim for it, and you have to wash everything all the time. Every few days you need to wash your rack as well, and you need to wash the place where you put your cutleries. I do that every few days. And especially when it is plastic as well, I did additional openings at the very bottom, on the side actually. I cut with a knife a few little holes in order to be able for the water to run away and no bacteria to stay in them. So I hope that you really liked my video, and I hope that you start washing your dishes on time, and I hope that you start budgeting on time as well.